Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to JEDIOSHI, Monday, March 28th. We had some exciting things happen in Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space last 24 hours. Really, it was about an hour or two before weekly close. And we just popped right over that 45.5 level and put in a big move, really driving up all of the crypto. So let's dive in. Let's look at the charts. Let's see what we can expect. That's what I'm doing. Really is trying to think through what's possible, what might come next, and what to be looking for, right? So we had almost a first ever, assuming that 69K is the top, we had almost a first ever event of crossing the 50 on a retrace. Now, of course, we've talked about the retrace, we've talked about the potential of getting back to the 618,702, and we'll look at that. But in order to do that, we would have to cross through the 50. So this isn't it's just definitely nice to see. It's not necessarily something that's unexpected, but getting rejected off the 50 would have been an issue, or would have been something to go back to kind of the drawing board. But the fact that we've pushed through and closed the 50 weekly moving average is a pretty big deal. If you look at when it's happened before, it's never happened before, especially in a bear market. Which again leads me to my thinking that maybe we're not in a bear market. Maybe this is a continuation. Maybe this is mid-cycle. So I'm keeping an open mind. Hopefully you are too. I'm trading the chart, and that's what I intend to do, especially going forward. So let's just dig in and see what the charts say, right? So we know, and we talked about this a number of times last week. Weekly buy signal, right? On the RSI reset, the break and break of that. Break and break a trend, under buy signal, we're moving up, right? What I'm looking for is something probably lower than a weekly. So I'd go to the 3-day, maybe the 1-day, maybe even the 4-hour, right? To really start to see resolution. Really what I'm watching for is I'm watching for a breakdown, because I'm not sure. Here, let's go to the daily. I'm not sure at this point how this works, right? I've been drawing out multiple scenarios for how maybe it's a line here could be in play. Let's get our fib on here so we can look at our levels, right? But I'm expecting us to move up to the 618,702, right? Up to here. Somehow, some way. And that's for Bitcoin. I think that alts, we've talked about this a lot, but I think that, and what's exciting is we're starting to see it, right? I think that alts do much, much, much better than Bitcoin. You know, look, what is, Bitcoin from here to the 618,702, or is what, maybe 20 more percent? Let's measure that. So that from here to there, yeah, 20%. I think alts multiply before Bitcoin goes to 20%, right? And we're already starting to see it. And we'll get into some alts in a little bit, but my focus is on A, staying on the right side of the market, and B, what do the charts tell us? What do the charts say? Okay, so let's dig in here on the structure and what are the charts telling us? Okay, we broke down. Let's go back to February within this 81-day range, right? That was pretty brutal, pretty painful, but we broke out topside, which is nice. Sell signal, buy signal, a trickier sell signal, and then a reversal. Didn't quite get all the way down on the RSI to reset, and now we're up here. So statistically, when you look back in time, and I guess I'll delete that. When you look back in time, look, we're up here, and you heard me talk about back in January that our RSI is oversold. We're oversold, and look, the daily got down to 13. Pretty low level, right? We did videos on, hey, haven't been this oversold in a long time, etc. Right? So what I'm coming to you today is saying, hey, eyes wide open, we are overbought now, right? So, whoops, let me move this so you can see it. Get me out of the way there. Okay, so we're overbought right now, right? But it doesn't mean, okay, this is a big deal. It doesn't mean that the price immediately comes down. Price can move up, even as we've seen back here. I look at this June-July breakout right here, and we'll touch that in a minute. But even as RSI is hot, and even cooling off, price can continue to climb. Just like when price is down on a low RSI can strengthen even as price drops. So let's look at this time period right here. Price continued to drop, RSI strengthened, but then dropped again, right? So you do have periods like that. That's not the best example, but what I wanted to show you was this range here. Okay, from kind of that first correction in say August 1st through, I think it was September 7th. Yeah, August 1st through September 7th, we had increasing trend with a decreasing RSI. See that? So we definitely can paint a flag here or a pattern and fade with an increasing Bitcoin price. Definitely something to watch for. So again, what I'm watching for is for the charts to guide at least my move and what I would, say I think about the market, right? So in my interpretation of the market right now, still bulls in control. Bulls are obviously in control. We broke out and bears are going to now have to take the control. So that was a note about RSI. Price can climb while RSI fades, but obviously price can also fade. So I'll be looking for signals, but also on these levels, let's look at that because we have highlighted this many times. But let's look at this level at 45.5, and then we had this next level here at 52, right? So we may also range here. We may actually come back and test this 45.5. And we may range. We may kind of walk our way up a little bit or kind of upward sideways, back into a retrace. For me, again, I think alts are going to tell the story. If alts are going nuts while Bitcoin's meandering its way up here, maybe going through periods of consolidation, or doing whatever it's going to do, then I think, this might be a really big signal for me that, yeah, this cycle is over. But if we get up here and we start breaking down, we see breakdowns in both Bitcoin and the altcoin chart, then I may say, like, look, it's a good time to exit, but also the cycle may not be over, right? So if we get a chart breakdown, a significant breakdown in the charts, and it signals for me to exit, then I'm looking at a potential re-entry on strength. And we've covered this a lot, but again, I'm looking at a potential re-entry on strength for a possible full cycle run, right? If this is not the top. Now we won't know that until it's all played out, right? So you have to basically, or in my opinion, trade the chart. And so right now we're not seeing, what are we seeing right now? Or what do we need to do? Right now we just enjoy the ride. But don't get too emotional and don't get so excited that you forget what our job is, right? Our job is to pull money out of the market. So, we are the boss of our trades and our positions, right? And when you think about it like that, we are the boss and the market works for us. And we give orders to the workers, the boss, our positions, the workers, our positions, and they work for us until they're done. And our job is to start the clock and our job is to end the clock. And otherwise we let it happen, right? So what and I'm not sure how to get more kind of data to guide what might play out. Again, I will let the charts guide my actions. But when it comes to speculating what might happen, there are really two things in my mind. One is a more slow kind of walk up retrace to a 702, 618 area. The other is a quicker pump and a fade and then a walk up, which could happen, right? So something like that. I'm not at this point, I don't have an opinion one way or the other. Let's just assume for a second that we follow this red path. Now, forgive my scale because I think maybe it's like that. If this were to happen, this is what it would look like. That's what I can help you with. If this were to happen, it would look like this. And maybe it resets on the daily. and we get that. So here's what we would be looking at. Hey guys, we get a breakdown. We're going to break down signal here. Boom. You know, either here, or maybe a little bit more confirmation at the 65 level. And then possibly a re-enter around strength. Re-enter around strength here. We got another significant buy signal. A reset of the RSI coming back down, and then we ride this up. Right, so I'm not sure how this plays out. No one can tell you that. No one knows the future for sure. And I think what we'll see is obviously watch the charts for signals, and then we'll see how the alts do. If the alts are just going up for the next, say, 30 days, because that's really how long alt seasons have taken in the past, right? It only takes about 3 or 4 weeks. And if we get alts running, say XRP breaks 92 and just goes vertical, and you know, SHIB goes to 10,000 or whatever, and things are just stacking day after day after day, then, you know, it may signal that this cycle is over, and we'll have to manage it properly, right? We'll have to take, we'll have to take action, in my opinion, whatever's prudent. So that's my take on Bitcoin. These are the scenarios that I see playing out. I think either we get more of a meandering walk up to the retracement, or it's more of a pop up. We actually get rejected, say at 51, 52. The entire market may fall for a week or two, and then we climb up. So hard to say at this point what happens. Obviously, I'll be here. We'll be here together in the Telegram. We'll look for signals, and we can act accordingly, right? But that's how I see it on the alts. And congratulations to the JEDIOSHI crew for getting into Filecoin. Let's just look at that to start. Some of us, I know it was late on Saturday night, and we had one of the crew tip us off on the signal, which kind of triggered my thought process about looking at the weekly chart and talking about it last week on the video about how it looks to be one of the best charts out there. So let me just clean this up a little bit. But yeah, on Phil or Filecoin, we basically entered on this. Well, it was on this candle, but it was before the rocket, right? We got it in, I think, around 19.5. It was sub 20, right? So got in there. Really, what we're seeing is a break and break. We looked at it on the videos last week. Like, this looks like one of the best charts. I guess I do have it on log, but here we go. Look how close we are to the bottom. Look how many X's we have to the top of this range. If we were to get here at 238 from 20, that was, I think, a 12X. So there's a 12X back to its high of last year. Weekly RSI reset coming up off the bottom, looks strong. Price breaking up off the bottom, looks great. Break and break signal, it's a long entry on the weekly. I like it. It's one of the best charts I can find. Okay. So yeah, got into that. It's exciting. I think there's more potential. I'd like to see this run. I think that, and we'll look at waves in a second, but I think waves in Luna, but waves may be leading the way, especially in the alt space. If you look at what waves has done off its bottom, and now we're seeing a lot of these alts rip. Now Elon, Dogecoin is up to, sorry about that. Let me do that. Elon Doge is up what? 26% today. Akita is at 98 now. Cool. Almost to 100. SHIB is at about 2,900 now. Let's see. So they have the dog coins running. 28.83 for SHIB. Right. So that's Phil. I think, look, I'm just glad to have a position here. Didn't get as much as I wanted, but I did trade my FTM for it. So I'm cool. And I think it was a good trade. Got to say goodbye to FTM and potential, but that's fine. I like this potential better. So just got with it. I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to ride these alts. Is my plan is to just ride this trend. And if this can trend, if Bitcoin can stay strong, continue its retrace, I think that we have at least 236s at 40 for the smaller interval. 236s at 40. For the larger interval, that's the fib in white. Larger interval, the 236 is at 68. So that's like a 3x. Back to this old high here at 120 is about a 6x from where we got in. Right? I'll take a 6x all day. That's great. I mean, that would be a big move. We'll see. I talked last week about the potential for, and let's cover it again. And let's cover it with XRP, because that's where I talked about it last week. But the potential, and excuse my art, but I'm watching these levels here, I'm watching these levels basically to pass this old high here. I think at 90, we cross 92 cents and we just start going up. We will have to get past some other levels here, but daily RSI strong off the bottom, reset coming up, broke that trend. I think that, yeah, once we break first 92 cents and then 96 cents, you know, I think we can be on our way for higher levels. However, let me share with you kind of my thinking on how this might look. And I did this last week, but I'll do it again. So on kind of how this might work, there's two ideas. And I drew this out. So Bitcoin came down from 69K, I'm just gonna make it simple, to 33, ranged for 81 days, and now it's broken out, right? Okay, something like that. Okay, there's two paths. One, let's do it in green. We talked about, let's do the up, then the down, then the step up. Okay, if that is kind of our path, that's kind of the path that we take. I think that alts will be kind of two-prong, like a two-prong run. And why I did it with XRP, and I do need to drop my fib on here so you guys can see this. So the fib on XRP is like this. This is the grand cycle. This is the weekly chart. So the fib on XRP is like this. And there's a chance. Okay, let me paint this out. There's a chance that we come up here, we stall out, we pull back, and then make a final move. You know, that would be this green path, right? So the green path, and I might have to, let me redraw this, sorry guys. So there's like, let's call it two paths for, let's call it, we're kind of here today, right? Okay, put it back in red. Okay, now there's two paths. Let's redraw the green as kind of a quick move up to that, was 52K level, then back down, then a longer retrace. Okay, that's the green. So if that happens, I could see something like this, where green, we get some primary move, like, and I'm not sure if we eclipse all-time high. I'm not sure we do, but let's just say whatever, we get a move up. Then we fade back, and then we can move up again, right? So that might be, that would follow that path, I think. I'm not sure where we stop and where we come back to. I don't know that. All we have to do is watch the chart, really. We just trade the chart, right? If we get breakdowns and everything, that's a signal, signal, signal. If we get breakups, it's signal, 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 signal. And we can act accordingly, or we can just sit and ride or whatever. Whatever your plan is, you can do. Right? So let's say basically the other path was more of a meandering way up, right? More of a meandering retrace. And I'm trying to think more about like how long this might take. But in that scenario, this could be where alts catch strength and start moving up and just start working their way up and don't really have a two-tiered approach. So I hope that makes sense. But that's in my mind anyways, what I'm thinking of that's possible. But again, I guess the 1,000th time, right? But again, I'm just trading the chart. I'm just going to trade the chart and take signals, and I'll work with weekly signals or daily signals. And it'll be interesting to see. We'll stay here on XRP as an example, but it'll be interesting to see what this looks like. Do we come up here? Do we get a spike? Does this come down? Do we fade it? Do we have a spike event? Or do we have more of a fade, like more of a fade where it comes up and you actually print higher highs on lower RSI? This price can do that, right? We've seen that in the past. So I'm looking for these signals. I'm looking for market action to help understand what's possible even for the future, even as to help answer the question of it, if the cycle is over or if it's not. I think for me, if say XRP goes to $8, $10, $13, whatever, up to these higher fibs, it's over, in my opinion. And it may not be. It's over for me. The game's over for me at that point, especially when we start looking at chart breakdowns. We start hitting these fib levels, and such. I think it's a great time to take that gift from the market and live to play another day. But that's XRP. This is Waves had another look. This is had another 20% day today. Look, this is weekly. 20% day on the week. It's one day. Okay, it's the same. But on the weekly look, Waves just come off the bottom and has not looked back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 weeks from the bottom, straight up. Can we see something like that here in SHIB? Are we getting ready to see? Look, the last run was 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. Are we getting ready to see 3 weeks of alts that go straight up? If Bitcoin is ranging, kind of hanging in there, I think it's possible. I think it's possible that we see 3 weeks of up only. Let's look at Glimmer. This is one that actually broke out on the daily. I'm going to show you guys. But broke out of its wedge at $3. I like it. Looks good. But that's about all I had for you today, guys. I know it's a big day. We broke out yesterday, right before the weekly close. We broke above the 50 MA, closed above that line. That's some really nice action. And now we're starting to see some nice action in the alts, right? We're starting to see big moves, 10+% days. We want to see that continue. And just be watching for chart breakdowns is I think the most prudent way to go about this. So that's the game plan. That's the summary. That concludes the video today. Please give it a like, share the content, what we're doing here at JEDIOSHI. Appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.